Some action movies have deliberately defied the forces of gravity with over-the-top stunts. But other movies, like the blockbuster hit Speed, scored a bullseye at the box office by traveling right on the edge of possibility.
Floor it! Everybody hold on to your seats or whatever you can.
In Speed, Keanu Reeves plays a cop who commandeers a bus that's forced to travel no slower than 50 miles per hour. If the speed falls below 50, a bomb on the bus will explode. Perhaps no part of the film was more talked about than the pivotal scene in which the bus seems to defy the forces of gravity when it flies across a gap in an unfinished LA freeway. But according to experts, if this jump was tried in the real world, the pull of gravity would cause the plot to turn in a very different direction, straight down.
The jump in speed of the bus across the unfinished freeway is completely ludicrous. There's no possible way that a city bus going from one side of a freeway to the other side at the same height would ever jump up at the end and fly across a gap.
I don't believe it would work for a second. I think they would go nosedive straight into the bottom and they'd all be killed and there wouldn't be a movie.
No matter how fast the bus is traveling, it simply can't make the jump. Gravity is pulling the bus down at a rate of 32 feet per second squared.
I think this is a common misconception. People tend to think that if an object's traveling rapidly enough, gravity doesn't have an effect on it. But in fact, even a high-speed rifle bullet falls by a small amount during the time it travels from the gun to the target.
Director Jan de Bont admits that the bus jump required a leap of faith on the part of moviegoers.
There's, of course, a little bit of a reality check either. In reality, of course, if there's a real gap, a bus could only do it if the second part of the freeway is lower, because it can never, if it were the same height where it was, you could normally never do that.
Okay, so even Speed's director admits the bus couldn't really make the jump. So how did the filmmakers cheat physics and make a 15-ton vehicle seem to soar across a gap in the overpass? The sequence was actually shot on an unfinished freeway, but the bus never flew over any gap. Instead, Jan de Bont used computer images to create the illusion of the missing stretch of the freeway. But de Bont and his special effects team still had to make the bus appear to be flying through the air.
What we have to have is some kind of ramp at some angle that will launch the bus up, give it a vertical component, and therefore this bus now can, in effect, cheat gravity by launching into the air and then having gravity act on it in such a fashion that we could successfully get to the other side.
To make the bus jump into the air, a stunt driver drove the vehicle across a ramp about 150 feet in length. At the end of the ramp, the filmmakers placed a second ramp called a kicker, which raised the bus an additional 10 degrees.
And as soon as the front wheels leave the kicker ramp, you drop the kicker ramp to the same height as the previous ramp. Now, the front wheels of the bus is kicked up, but the back wheels, they don't know. So consequently, when that bus leaves the ramp, it'll take off. He actually hit on a spot where they digitally took out that piece of the freeway. In theory, he could have almost made the jump.
By combining cutting-edge technology and the laws of physics, de Bont created a flying bus.
The driver just took full speed on the ramp, didn't slow down at all, made the jump, and actually landed about 150 feet further down, like, instead of 70. So it was like quite a few cameras destroyed. It was like, oh, but at least it worked. At least we had a take.
De Bont not only had his take, he had the crowning shot in a sequence that helped make Speed one of the biggest hits of the year. The same year Speed